It's Thursday night. My name is Red Baron. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Thursday, so what does that mean? That means it's time for our new favorite show, Woo Woo Chat with Veronica Jayne. So I'm Red Baron. I'm from FibbyCharts.com and the unfairadvantage.chat. So if you folks are not familiar with who I am, what I do, I am uniquely something to the crypto sphere. We do quite a few different things. I use AI predictive software we call it our digital crystal ball. However, we do bring an element of woo-woo to this stuff, and so we have a new show now that we do on Thursdays. This is our second ever show with returning guest Veronica Jayne. We'll be with her in just a minute as soon as I get done running my mouth. I'm waiting for a few people to join us. I'm waiting for my mods to join in here, so give me just a couple seconds. I'm going to have a little bit of radio silence while I go ahead and let the cryptosphere know that I'm out on the air, and I'll be right back. So hang tight. I'll be back in 2 and 2. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you waiting in the radio silence. We do that all the time, so I can go ahead and blast things out. I'm a one-man operation here. I'm chief chef and bottle washer. That's just what I do. So I have to kind of do one thing while I'm waiting on the other stuff. So anyway, good time to have you here. This is Thursday. This is our Woo Woo Chat. This is our second ever broadcast with Veronica Jayne. We'll be getting to that here in just a second. Lot to talk about, guys. Lot to talk about. We are on the precipice of some very, very large events in the world, and indeed some good times ahead for crypto. So we're going to be discussing that in tonight's broadcast. There's my folks. They're starting to come in. So welcome one and all. Glad to have you as usual. If you're new to the broadcast, thank you for joining us for the first time ever. My name is Red Baron. Glad to have you amongst the crypto family. This is what we call the Crypto Treehouse, and you're welcome to come on in and enjoy yourself. So anyway, what we'd like to do here for just a single second, if you guys would like to, we'd love to have you join us over on our main Discord. You just simply go to the unfairadvantage.chat. That's our free Discord. You're welcome to join us. That's our community for crypto lovers everywhere around the world. We have folks from all four corners of the planet, and we'd love to have you with us too. Simply join us at the unfairadvantage.chat, and you can find that link in the excuse me, in the description box below. So without much further ado here, since we're starting to get some folks filing in here, we'll go ahead and get the show started. So with me on air here, as usual, is Veronica Jayne. How are you doing, my lovely lady?
I am doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent. So what do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, we tend to talk about some world events and some prophecies, so let's knock that out first.
Okay.
Let's talk very quickly about the Three Gorges Dam. I don't think we got to touch on that last time.
No, we didn't.
All right, so the Three Gorges Dam, one of the largest dams in the world, located in China, and to me, when I do readings on it, it keeps popping up, and it looks like an old man with a cane who's hobbling along, and then his feet get knocked out from under him, and he goes flat on his back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So when I see stuff like that, we talked about Shiva last week and how it looked like such a cute little puppy. It's young.
Right.
It has potential. It's getting ready to do something. It's young. This is an old, decrepit man, which means it's at the end of its life cycle. It wasn't built that long ago to be at the end of its life cycle, but when they built it, they didn't build footings into the bedrock. They built the dam on top of the bedrock. So it's been sliding and moving, and eventually there's only so far it can move before physics takes over and the whole thing just goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah. Well, you were telling me that in our pre-talk, you were telling me that they did a great job, except for in one spot. And that's all it takes, just one spot.
Yeah. So when that goes, okay, the loss of life is going to be incredible.
Right.
Raw sewage, excrement, dead bodies in the water, buildings, toxins from the buildings, toxins from everything being mixed together, or fuels, everything's going in the water. It's going to go downhill. It's also a generator of power for the whole area, so all power is going to be gone. Don't expect to have any lights or anything there. No heat.
Right.
No electric. No, none of that.
Right.
The cryptocurrency, there's a large percentage of the world's Bitcoin mining is done just downriver from the Three Gorges Dam. Wuhan is also downhill from there, downstream from there, with their laboratories and all the extra stuff in the petri dishes, which is probably going to be released into the water. So God only knows what's in there.
Oof.
Yeah, people don't think about that either.
No.
Raw materials won't be available. They won't even be able to rescue their own people, much less, hey, can you send me out that thing I ordered on Amazon? Not going to happen.
What percentage, so when we do a pre-talk before this show, because Veronica can hit me with stuff and just kind of blindside me, because I want to know what I'm walking into here when I talk with her on air. So we talked about a few things, and I said one of the things that I think that's very important to discuss is the humanity aspect to this, because a lot of people look at the dam breaking as being, well, how's that going to affect my pocketbook? I mean, that's really the least of the issues. I mean, how is this? This is going to have a tremendous effect on humanity, tremendous, incalculable, and so many questions come to mind. And by the way, if you guys have questions for Veronica, I am writing them down. We are actually going to answer a few that have been sent to her on air here as we get through this. But back to this, if you guys have a couple questions while we're on this topic, fire them away and I'll do my best to kind of insert them into the conversation. But one question that comes to mind to me, so I don't know off the top of my head what the population is of China in particular, but what do you see as a percentage of death and affected people from this event within China?
Well, affected people is hard because, if you have colleges and university and family and schools and people who have loved ones, then everyone's affected, of course. But
well, I'm speaking in terms of like loss of life and, real serious life or death issues.
Let me see here. 500,000, definitely. 750, 1,000,000, 1,500,000. Let's see if we can go lower.
What are you doing as you're getting that number? What are you doing? Tell the people what your process is you're doing right now.
I'm basically doing, it's a form of finger dowsing. finger popping, I call it, or body dowsing. And I kind of walk up to the number, and when I hit a wall and I get smacked back or stopped, then that's the answer.
Right.
So I went from 1 million to 1.5 million because I was just kind of skipping. I'm like, well, we hit 1.5 million. So that was a yes. 2 million, no. 1,750,000, no. 1,600,000, yes. 1,650,000, 700, 1,675,000.
1,675,000.
Yeah.
No small number. No small number.
Now, will that be the amount admitted?
Certainly not.
No. There's going to be so many people missing, just entire families, entire generations just gone. And how do you rescue them? How do we get them? How do we find them? And it's not just the water, it's not the drowning, it's the bacterial count in the water and the dysentery and the unsanitary water, because now you've got contaminated drinking water that basically divides the country in half and contaminates all the other towns where there was no flooding, but the water's contaminated.
Right. It's a domino effect.
Very much so. So there goes the fishing industry, because as it comes down and leaves China and heads out to the sea, and then, of course, Japan's fishing industry is going to be shot for a minute there, and
right.
Everything outside of there in the fishing industry is going to be a mess. You're going to have a lot of unclean water that does kind of a reverse Nike swish, comes down, branches out, and then goes toward the west and toward India.
What do you see for, as long as you're bringing that up, what do you see for India, and let's just say that between now and the end of the year, anything major coming out of India, good, bad, or indifferent?
Oh. No one's asked me that. Let's take a look. It looks like there's some kind of like bobbing, like a building that's just floated up. Maybe that's flooding. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like everything sort of flipped over. But that's a very large, intact building. It kind of looks like a bank that rolled over. So I don't know if that's an indication of actual flooding or if that's an indication of something, a financial crisis.
I would take that as I would take that as a financial thing going belly up. Kind of as long as are you done on the dam? I don't want to sidetrack your thoughts there.
No, I'm done on that. Just keep an eye on that, because obviously there's. I hope that we send resources. I hope that people pray for them, which doesn't sound like much. Every little bit helps.
It does.
Yeah, but with something that massive, it's going to pull the economies of the world, the beef industry, the pork industry, all the raw materials that China ships out. Do you actually think they're going to ship anything out?
Not at all.
Are they going to receive shipments from other countries?
Not a bit. Well, that's going to be a problem. I mean, I'm from the Midwest, where we send an awful lot of grain to them, and they're not exactly going to be in a buying mood. So that's going to affect our farmers in the Midwest. And it's just we have a very fragile economy. When one goes down, we all go down. It doesn't feel like that, but it is the truth. I mean, it doesn't. We're way past the tipping point. We're just now starting to see the results of it, but it will get worse, won't it?
I believe so. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah. So before we get off of world events, anything else you want to talk? Well, we better talk about a little bit of volcanoes. What do you had indicated? I kind of quizzed you really quick about definitely the week for volcano talk.
Yes, it is, and really everything that's going on is not the big linchpin event that starts the massive earth changes. This is just kind of part and parcel of what we've got going on now in the world, where think of it like buckles. Like a door has a lot of locks, and one lock at a time is being unlocked. Click, 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 all the way down to the floor. And once the last lock is undone, then everything goes.
And everything swings open, right?
Right. But these are just one lock at a time. This is not anything that we aren't expecting. It's just going to be one thing after another. It's going to get to the point where we're almost sick of hearing it in the news. Oh, another volcano. Oh, that one woke up. Oh, okay. But as long as those are not the linchpin events, then we'll all just keep plugging along until we can't.
One of our moderators said something was happening in Hawaii.
Yeah. There's a volcano that I just heard about. My friend sent me a YouTube video on it. And, Hawaii is one of the old areas of Atlantis is in the Atlantic Ocean. This is the Pacific Ocean. So this would be Lemuria. And those are the old islands of Lemuria, the parts of it that survived. So as we see the volcanoes coming, you don't have to worry about Hawaii sinking. Hawaii is actually just going to get bigger. It's going to rise up. There's going to be more land added to it. But it's going to have some difficulties, volcanoes and sloshing around while that happens. So it's just part of the ring of fire, and it's going to be very active over the next decade.
What when you say it's going to expand, by what percentage? Would you have an idea?
I can see it almost doubling.
Wow.
And it's, in some parts, it's going to be even bigger than that.
Hear that, guys? Real estate in Hawaii is going to get cheap.
But while all that's happening, can you live there?
Not so much. No. Okay. So, speaking of Earth changes, I'll use this as a transition point to talk about a prediction that's been bandied around an awful lot about from your mentor, Douglas Cottrell, has been talking about Switzerland, correct?
Yes, he wrote a book called The New Renaissance, which is quite a thick book, almost 250 something pages of prophecy about what the Earth is going to look like and what's going to happen to the Earth during these changes, and how the rivers are going to change and shift and the land masses and so forth. And one of them he gave was Switzerland. And Switzerland, for whatever reason, is just determined to disappear. A few years ago, a lot of us in the intuitive community were getting very nervous about Switzerland. I was having dreams of Switzerland just disappearing. And I'm like, why? Why is it going now? It's not supposed to go until the Earth changes. And the answer was they have some kind of, it's like a particle collider that goes around the outskirts of...
The Hadron Collider?
It's some kind of large machine in a circle, and they were doing experiments that were beyond the scope of their understanding.
To say the least.
So they almost messed up a couple times and set off a chain reaction that basically would have been like a series of set explosions in a circle, and everything from there would have just been collapsed.
That in and of itself, so guys, we will never run out of stuff to talk about with Veronica, I assure you of this. This topic alone, the Super Hadron Collider, is an interesting topic because there's a great deal of occult and mysticism stuff that's kind of been brought into that. If you've ever seen, I believe it was the grand opening ceremony or whatever it was, that was just a weird thing. Did you ever see that, Veronica? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I did not.
It's strange to say the least. It had no place in the scientific community. Very occult, very demonic, and so it concerns people who look at this and just go, what in the hell am I looking at? So we might come back to that, and we might talk about that, because I'd love to hear your input on what you think that was really all about. But I don't want to defer too far. So we're talking about Switzerland right now in general, so please continue. I don't want to derail this too much.
Okay. So I'm looking at Switzerland, and if you look into it, it's almost like a crater. So here's Switzerland in the middle. Imagine that. And you're looking down on it, and all you see are mountain ranges all around it. So if you have massive earth upheavals, and all of the entire sides of the mountain just sort of slide down, they're just going to slide right into the middle and create kind of a flat space where Switzerland used to be. The whole thing is going to be buried. There won't be anything left.
Wow.
That's what's predicted for Switzerland.
Did he give a timeline on that?
I don't see a time. I see 49. So here's the thing with the earth changes and with the prophecies. We know they're going to happen. We're not exactly sure when. It's on like a sliding scale. And then how fast does each event happen? Is it 1 week? Is it 6 months? Is it every 1 or 2 years that something happens? Depending on how much distance is between the prophecies as they occur and you check them off, is how long it's going to take to get there.
Okay.
So when you have massive, massive earth changes happening, then that's going to be one of the ones you have to look at. But first you have Turkey, then you have, I believe it is the Canary Islands, and then the volcanoes in Italy, and then from there the rest of the world just goes, and the whole thing just starts. Those are the linchpin events we're looking for.
I see.
Mount Vesuvius and Mount Etna in Italy. So once those start, hold on to your hats. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
So transitioning from that, any other world events you want to cover? Anything else you guys want to throw in? I'm watching the chats and making notes here. We'll try to insert your questions as I don't want to start talking crypto in the middle of talking about volcanoes. So I'm trying to keep a little semblance to the flow of the show. So we can talk government, I think, from here.
Sure.
So, question that just rolled up in the chat: will election fraud ever be proven? Will there ever be anything that will come about from all this re-election counting? And to what end is all this going to work out, do you see?
About the same as it always has.
Oh, lovely. Much ado about nothing, right?
Basically, I mean, you have to go back to Gore. You have to go back to even Obama's first election was there was a lot of tampering against him.
Right.
And yet he still managed to come through. So it seems like the last handful of elections it's just become the habit. I mean, they haven't even been subtle about it. And it's like that people just kind of, there's so much going on in the world, so much in terms of conspiracy, and people are just tired, and they don't have the energy to keep running around after it. It's getting to the point where it's blatant and ridiculous, and
Pardon me, guys. We had an issue here where my audio dropped out. I apologize. Where'd you guys lose us at? I'm sorry about that. Anytime I move something around, it auto triggers off of here. Let's back up here. Let's just start over with metals. I apologize about that. So one more time, I had a technical glitch there, Veronica. Go ahead and start over
No
again.
problem. No problem. So let me just go back to the beginning. I've done a lot of readings on gold and silver, and every time I see somebody dipping their hands in, manipulating it, moving it, changing it, and adjusting it to what they need the price to be in order to make it work for them. It has nothing to do with what the price or the value of gold and silver actually is. Nothing to do with it. It's irrelevant. So don't ever think you're investing it and, it's going to go up. It's only going to go up as far as they'll let it go, because after that they start to have problems with it. So silver should be a lot higher. How high should silver be? What is the correct price of silver right now? 100, 200, 300 and something. How high? 400? No. 350? No. 340, 330, 320. Should be about 320 right now for the actual value.
Currently?
Of silver. Yes, it should be.
Currently. Let me interject and go back about one step. So where I lost my audio, guys are telling me we lost in the middle. I'm sorry if I touched my keyboard, guys. I was answering somebody in chat, and apparently I triggered something to shut my mic off. That's what did that. To go back and cover what she was saying. Basically, I'm going to summarize this as best I can. We're not going to get out of this. There's no savior coming. We're not going to turn around the election thing. The election fraud deal is basically is going to be a nothing burger. To just kind of sum that up in case somebody missed that, I apologize. That was my bad on that. So anyway, as far as silver goes, you're thinking we should be around about 320 currently?
Currently, we should be.
Where do you see it being next month? I already know where I have my own thoughts on this, and I have a couple other folks that I work with in the woo-woo community that are coming up with a number that's shockingly high. What are you seeing for next month? Let me backtrack and say, do you see next month being a radical change in the price of silver?
I see a jump up, down, and then back up. But I also see men in ropes digging their heels in and then pulling it back down.
Men in robes, ROBES?
Men with ropes, ROPES.
Men with ropes, okay.
Like ropes that they've got around it, and they're dragging and digging their heels in, and they're pulling it and trying to hold it back.
Okay.
But there's going to be quite a price increase. It's not going to work out well.
For who? For us or for them?
It'll work out okay. It's never going to get to the price where it should be. They're not going to let that happen.
Really?
Not until something. No, not until some. I mean, imagine what would happen if the price of silver went to 320 overnight, where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. How many silver contracts, manufacturing contracts would just go belly up? They couldn't afford it.
No, there'd be a lot of utter chaos. There's always got to be winners. There's always got to be losers, and unfortunately, the winners right now are the ones that are in control, keeping themselves as winners. So it's definitely not a fair fight.
No, it is not. However, kind of going back to the earth changes a little bit. When all of that happens, gold and silver will be the currency. Dollars are going to be washed out. Will you be able to get a hold of your crypto if there's no electricity? Not really.
No.
So 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, you need to have gold or silver. You need to have it in your hand, physical, not with paper contracts, not with them going, this piece of paper is like having real silver, but we're going to hold on to your silver for you.
Right. Right. My issue with silver, I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with silver over the last couple of years. I've owned a lot of it, and I finally got to the point where I come around to one thing, and I'll share this with you, and I want to hear your opinion on this, but with my world travels and the way that I see things and how I see people just relate at a very bare bones in third world countries, I asked myself, okay, so I'm holding a silver, let's use some hypothetical numbers. I'm holding a silver round. Like today, I just went and bought a little cache of silver rounds, and I paid, premiums jumped up, folks, if you don't know, it's $470, I believe it's $475 I paid, $375 the other day, $475 now. Prices, you can see silver prices, you can see my last buy was right there. I did another buy here, right about here today. I'm referencing a chart on my screen, Veronica. And so, right now we're looking at $22, which doesn't sound all that bad. But you throw a $4.75 premium on top of that, and suddenly it's not that attractive in the bigger picture. Here's the problem that I have with silver, generally speaking, and gold, and any type of thing like that. If we were to see a ridiculous run up in price, and let's just say $500, just to do a round number. So now I'm holding a $500 coin. The world that I'm seeing $500 coins exist in does not have a corner dealer for gold and silver. It does not have your friendly little coin collector at the strip mall down on the end of the block. So I'm asking myself, what can I do with a $500 coin? Can I break off a percentage of it if I need to buy bread? Can I shave off a corner of it? And who establishes the fair price for that? That's the problem that I have with large. What you think is a large denomination is going to be ridiculous. A medium denomination right now is going to be rather large, such as a coin, in the future. So the question that I have for myself is it really money, or is it just something we can use to leverage whatever money really is? How do you see that playing out?
Well, you're right. Gold is going to be for large purchases. Silver is more for day-to-day, medium, moderate transactions. But copper pennies, real copper pennies, will be a means of exchange as well. Not the crappy cheap ones. You're going to have to go check year by year which ones have the most copper.
Pre-1980, I believe, is I just had this discussion with one of my moderators before getting on air with you. You guys that are collecting pennies and stuff like that, not a bad idea. I've heard this from several people that are in the know. Economic Ninja actually just talked about this. Pre-1983, is it, Flemish? Thank you very much. Pre-1983 has like a highest. Is it 100% copper, or is it just have a higher percentage of copper? What is that? He'll answer me here in just a second. So start hoarding and start stashing those pennies. They tell you that there's a shortage. Get them while they're hot, right?
Yep, that's basically it. The other thing is semi-precious stones. I have a small collection of those myself.
Define what you mean by that. Are you talking diamonds, rubies, emeralds?
Rubies and sapphires, I have those. I have emeralds, topaz, amethyst, anything along those lines. The
Really?
Semi-precious. Anything that falls in the category of semi-precious, tanzanite, and so forth.
Now, how do you see that having any value to people who are kind of living on the ragged edge? That's a question that pops into my mind.
Well, and it's not even so much the ragged edge, as we're looking at a means of trade. So if you have a handful of amethyst, and what's going to happen is they're all going to kind of shake out, maybe by weight, and they may be even classified by how pretty they are,
Right.
Big bright colors and such like that.
Right.
But for people living on the edge, you're talking about trading an egg for a frog leg or whatever's available.
I'm going to start brewing my own liquor. I got a whole bunch of mason jars. I'm going to start distilling my own liquor. I'm not joking about that, because that's always going to be a trade. If you guys know how to distill, you might want to spend a little time on YouTube learning how to distill your own liquor, because you might be surprised what the trade value is.
Yep.
But so that's interesting to hear. But back to the copper thing, I want to make one point on that. So what's so special about copper? Well, I don't know if you guys realize, but gas-burning cars are going to be a thing of the past. What's going to replace them? Electric cars. And let me tell you what, there is one hell of a lot of copper that goes into an electric motor. And there's more than one electric motor in every electric car. And pretty soon, all the cars that are going to be on the planet are going to be electric. Copper is going to be a hot commodity. Mark my words. I'm an automotive engineer by trade, folks. I'm not just blowing smoke. I know what I'm talking about. Would you agree to that, Veronica?
I would. That sounds about right. So as far as the mining and purifying these and the trade of this particular metal, you're right.
Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the meat and the potatoes of this. So let's talk a little bit about crypto. So as I was, so today we had planned, plans are made to be ruined, or being made to be changed. She laughs. Okay, so I sent Veronica a list of 20 coins, and let's see if I can call it without shutting off my mic again. Let me see. Do you have that list in front of you that I sent you?
I can in a second.
All right.
Let's see. Where'd it go? There you are. List of cryptos, yeah.
All right. Bitcoin being the one on the first. I'll shuffle behind the scenes here, and I'll get the list so I can talk. Give me your, just start at the top. So let me kind of backtrack and stuff. So Veronica's starting a new project here. We're going to kind of document this, or we're going to kind of, it's just for fun. I don't want anybody trading on this. We're just farting around here, just playing with this stuff. So you're listening to a work in progress here. So I don't want any haters or any trolls in my thing saying, well, sure missed that call, because we're working out a process here, but it's fun to watch the process. And you might be surprised by how accurate she is. But anyway, I gave her a list of 20 coins, and I said she's working on a process where you're doing dowsing, correct?
Correct.
Could you define, for people, I always kind of like to bring everybody into the conversation, could you define your process? What is dowsing and what you're doing?
Okay, so I use a lot of different dowsing methods. I pretty much use every one that exists, but for this particular project, I use a pendulum made out of wood that's connected by a string. You'll see people who use crystal pendulums. I do not recommend crystal pendulums ever, or stone of any kind.
Why is
because
that?
It tends to pick up emanations and vibrations around you, other people, emotions, spirit people that pass by. It picks up too many vibrations, and that's going to throw off your accuracy. When I hold a crystal pendulum, all it does in my hand is vibrate and shake and twitch and do weird stuff. Yes, I can get it to move in the right direction and give me answers. I'm not comfortable with it. Something like wood or brass is very solid. It doesn't pick up anything extra that will influence my answers.
I see. Okay. So what's the first one you got on your list?
First one here is Bitcoin.
All right. So let's talk about, to go back and recap what the project outline is here, is we're trying to come up with, well, I do short term, because short term is, the faster you can kind of see your results, the funner this is. So the idea here is we're looking for a couple of different things. So you're looking for like the 1 week, or define what the questions you're asking, and then the process you're going through to come up with this.
Okay, so many of you from last week will remember that I got a little bit of criticism from my friends going, why are you doing it that way? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Looking for the high on a specific date, yeah.
Yeah, so he said, why don't you look for the high number for a period of time, 7 to 10 days? What will be the highest? And then maybe even try to narrow it down to a portion of what day it might even land on. But for that week, what will the high be? What will the highest percentage be? What's the coin that's going to move the most in terms of gain? That kind of thing. So that's kind of, I sort of had to start over a little bit with how I've done it. So that's kind of the list he gave me today. Okay. And the other thing was, he's like, why are you doing every single coin? A lot of these just follow the trend. So once you know what the trend is, that coin's going to move with it. I'm like, light bulb moment. So there we go.
Correct. So I tried to give her a list of coins that not all, but kind of go their own way a little bit. That way. And the other thing is I kind of get the feeling that, if I'm giving too many that are alike, you kind of call into question, am I getting a new coin, or am I just picking up more of the same thing on an old coin? So, all right. Well, what are you coming up with for so she's right now, she's still in the process of doing this, so we're going to kind of get a baseline of her.
You're cutting out, friend.
Sorry about that. We're going to get kind of a baseline on your feelings on this, and then we're going to begin in earnest next week, correct?
That sounds good.
Okay. So currently Bitcoin right now is and I'm going off the prices here. I'll be pulling up charts as you're talking and showing it for the viewing audience. The price when I sent it to you for Bitcoin was $41,533, $4,533. I'll pull up a chart here in just a second. What are you seeing for this week?
Okay, so for this week, the first week of October, let's find out if it's going up or down. Up or down. It says up. Okay, so that's good. Let's see. We're starting at 41.5. 6.
Currently, we are at 43.5.
Okay, so thank you for that, because otherwise it's going to take us a while to get there. So we're at 43.5, yes?
Correct. 43,572.
43,572. So let me write that down. 43,572 BTC. All right. Are we going to make it as far as 44?
Let me interrupt you here for a second. If you guys are hearing any kind of noise in the background, I have a really bad thunderstorm outside my window. So if you're hearing kind of cracking or static, what you're hearing is you're hearing the noise outside my window.
Okay, so 43, 44, 45, 46. It stops at 46. Let's back up. 40, let's see, let's go 46. So 900, 800, 700. Did you get the number with me? 46, like maybe 800?
Say again?
I think 46, 800 is where I stopped.
46,800. So let me make a... So 46.
Now, here's the weird thing about dowsing. It's almost like I go into an intuitive state or a kind of a trance state when I do these. I'll douse for something and I have to write it down as fast as I can. I will not remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I won't remember the numbers for anything I said after we're done here with this whole session. Okay. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I know how it goes. You kind of get in the zone and you don't hear it. You got to go back and listen to what you said. Yeah. I do that every day with broadcasts. I'm like, I didn't realize I was talking about that. So what I'm showing here on the charts here, just to kind of, I'll just kind of do a follow-up on this. So I'm showing our automated intelligence charts from FibbyCharts.com. We do have some resistance right at that particular point in time. So we are in a downward channel. We are striking the channel that I have outlined on this. Very possible it could wick out. We could get a teaser, and then we could possibly plummet and go even further. So not beyond the realm of possibility, guys. Not at all. Not at all. We've certainly had much more of a violent move down, so it's very possible this would be referred to as an opening move. We could have a closing move that could bring us back up in what's called an inverted Bart, which basically looks like that. So it's entirely possible that that could happen. So we'll be looking for that this week to see how that goes. So next one on our list is Ethereum.
Okay, what is it right now?
Ethereum is, I'm going to be pulling up the 15-minute chart. Ethereum is currently at $3,002.
Okay, so for the next 7 days, is Ethereum going to go up or down? Up or down? It says up. All right, let's start 30,100, 3,200, 3,300. It's moving. 3,400. It's kind of freaking out at 3,400, 3,300.
Really?
33. 1,350. Right around 33 and change.
Tell you what, Veronica, if you could see what I'm doing on screen, you'd be rather. It's kind of you're kind of freaking me out a little bit here. I'll tell you what, I'm using TA here for the guys that are watching, guys, so that the ones that are watching me here. She's completely half the United States away from where I'm at right now, so she cannot see anything that I'm doing on screen. She's just talking to me on phone. I'm using standard TA. Let me explain what's going on here. This is standard TA move. This is basically a flag move. This is what's called a velocity move. And basically from here to here, this is anybody who understands TA will understand. You put it right about there. And your call again is about what, Veronica? I
wrote down 3,300.
That's exactly about where I'm hitting with the TA. So entirely possible, guys, that Ethereum could in fact go to around about 32.75 to 33, right in that box right there. So entirely possible. Love to see this one play out. This would definitely be a feather in your cap. And I tell you, as I see this, I don't see this beyond the realm of impossibility. And the reason why is because we do have an upward trend on this, definitely within the realm of possibility. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark this one. We are going to revisit this, so this should be a fun one to track. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lock that one in. And let's go on down to the next one. Next one is XRP. Now, I got a couple questions. After you do your baseline reading on this, I have a couple questions related to XRP that some people have been asking on. So go ahead and give me XRP and current price. This is the one everybody's watching. This is the one we all have our hopes and dreams pegged on. That's going to pull us out of our current lifestyle. So currently we're at 94.948, just under $1.
So 94.948. Got it. Okay, this week. Is it going to go up or down? Up or down? It says up.
Right.
Right now we're at 94 cents. Okay. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Starting to move. Dollar. Dollar 1, 2, 3, 4. $1.04. It says much.
$1.04?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, if I'm tracking my TA here, says that I would believe probably about $1, so $1 to $1.04 window. Let's see what happens with that. So now we got some questions on this. Real good question came in the middle of talking about something else. So we're asking, are we going to get to a point where they're basically going to forbid us from using XRP, the public from using XRP? There's been a lot of speculation that people have been, we'll just call it conspiracy because that's what it is. They're basically saying, eventually the bankers, the powers that be, the big boys and stuff, they don't want the public owning this stuff. They want to get it all back for themselves. They don't want us dealing with it. Are we ever going to be regulated out of the use or access to this, do you think?
As much as possible. I see them putting it in a box and turning around and trying to hide it.
And there you go, guys. That's exactly what I've been saying for better than a year and a half. And you and I have never talked about that before, have we?
No, we have not.
No. So this is it, guys. This is for them, not for us. And so here's what I'm telling you. I don't give advice on this channel, but this is what I am going to tell you as my friendly opinion. Don't sell your damn XRP. Borrow against it, leverage against it, but don't, by any stretch of the imagination, let go of it, because once you do, you're never getting it back.
That sounds about right. I did a reading going on 2 years ago now, and what I saw was XRP, and it was like a tsunami, just washing over everything, which is great.
Yeah.
Great. But I saw people going, ooh, $3, $4, and then they sold, and they sold, and they sold, and then they cried.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There was so much regret. Everyone who sold at $3 or $4 was like so sad.
Let me tell you, I've been tracking XRP for a very long time. I'm in the 1% of XRP owners in the world, and I will tell you this: if any of you guys ever have a notion to sell $3, $4, $5, $10, join the unfairadvantage.chat and listen to what I have to say, and trust me, you'll never ever want to sell at those prices ever. That is absolutely insane. I mean, what's going to happen is they're going to tease us, and they're going to encourage us, and they're going to go, look at all this money. And this is going to, when people who are hodling this stuff see $10, there's going to be a lot of newly printed millionaires in this world. And it's going to take some intestinal fortitude to be able to not cash in and realize that is actual dollars and fiat. To be able to hold for greater, bigger gains is going to be a mental game, unlike anything you've probably ever played before. But you got to play it. If you really want to see this thing out to the end, there's nothing wrong with what they call licking the ice cream cone or taking the damn profit or whatever, pulling off a little bit. But by no means should you completely cash in the full boat.
Agreed.
That would be absolutely foolish. When do you see... we've talked about this before, so many questions. What would you like to add to this? Let me kind of get my thoughts together while you're talking. What would you like to add to that as far as like what we're looking at here for the next October? So on the last broadcast we talked that we're expecting a blast off here. And when was that again? To remind everyone.
We are looking at around October 22nd to 23rd.
Uh-huh.
Right around there. It'll be fairly obvious what's coming and when it's coming.
Right. What do you think is going to kick that off? What's going to be the thing that makes that just be the thing? A lot of this is preordained, and you guys must understand that this stuff has been written in the stars many, 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 many eons before this ever happened. I mean, this is not because somebody made a tweet or did something or whatever. This was preordained to happen. But what do you think is going to be considered to be the linchpin that sets this off, or the pin in the grenade that lets this go?
I'm looking and I see a number of events, and something almost looks like a lion with a robe around it or a cape around it. So I'm not sure what that symbolizes. Something regal or noble, or I don't know. But it looks like there's several things that kick it off. For one thing, I'm seeing a bunch of men in business suits holding fat briefcases, whispering and talking to each other, and running around and making arrangements, and it's all very whisper, whisper, secret, secret. And they're like, get ready. Or you got everything in place? Hold on a second. I got to get this together. And they're sort of getting ready to launch. And so these are going to be what looks to be larger institutional investors that are making arrangements now for their own pockets. And they're getting ready to ride the roller coaster to the top and have a good ride.
Do you think that those folks will be offloading? The term, I mean, I know you're not a crypto investor, but the term is dumping their bags. Do you think that these guys are going to end up dumping their bags on us and basically leaving us to hold losses, and this thing drops again to 22 cents or whatever? Do you see once we launch that we will ever pull back again to like really low lows?
We're not real low lows. I don't think that's coming back again ever. It looks like they're going to... Okay, when it comes to XRP, I see them making all of their arrangements. I see them launching it. I see them taking some profits, and then it's going higher, and they're trying to get rid of little people. Like, they're trying to shake people off of them like they're fleas.
Right.
And get back as much as they can and flick them off with their fingers. And then from there, it looks even like around the $8 or $9 mark, they can't hold it back anymore, and it just keeps going.
Okay. All right. You see, so the October event we're talking about here, basically third week in October, market wide, not just XRP.
Oh no, that's market wide.
How do you see the dollar faring against all this? You see it really taking a beating?
Okay. So the dollar is sitting there going, dee, 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 dee. It just looks like an idiot. Like it's not very smart, and it doesn't quite know what to do, and it's just sort of dangling there and dee, 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 dee. What's it doing, though? It's almost like it's sitting on a clothesline, like it's being hung out to dry a little bit. Okay. And it's just hanging there. It's not really doing much.
Not up, not down, just there.
Okay, let me look at an arrow up and down real quick. As far as you're talking about inflation, or
I'm just curious what the dollar is going to do up against crypto. My initial question, and I was kind of forming, is are we going to see where they're finally they refer to it as the dollar crash? Obviously, by what you're telling me here, is that doesn't sound like a crash scenario. It just sounds like more of the same. And
it looks a little dirty. It looks dirty.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it got in the mud a little bit, and kind of got stepped on and rolled downhill, and it's trying to trudge its way back up.
Well, the rest of the world's doing their best to get off of our dollars too, so there's that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you see that playing into possibly the reason why crypto might possibly be blasting off at that point in time? Could there maybe be an event on a worldwide stage where they're just like, hey, we're offloading a lot of dollars this week, and everybody just kind of has an oh shit moment and heads to crypto?
It doesn't look like that's such a major event. Yes, there's going to be some offloading, but it looks like people are actually psychologically anticipating the altcoin season,
right,
and they're kind of getting ready to take advantage of it because it's kind of a sure thing. They know it's coming. Yeah, they're just getting ready to take advantage of it for the party to start, and they're not going to miss out.
Okay.
So it's not even as much as they're trying to avoid the dollar. Everyone knows the dollar is washing out. Inflation is coming. There's a whole lot of problems in the world that have nothing to do with some of our current problems. They started a long time ago, and they're just kind of rolling forward now. And the dollar is just going to be more and more slowly eroded, treaded underfoot. I just see it's like raining on the sidewalk, and there's a little lonely dollar, and it's not even worth enough for somebody to lean over and pick it up.
Okay. Okay. So let's move through these because I know we're going to take a long time. We get off track too far. So XLM, kind of the junior, that's kind of the silver to XRP's gold. So what do you see for XLM?
It looks like it's going to be kind of a hand-in-hand movement with XRP, but it's still going to be a little brother.
Which of these two, in your opinion, is going to be the best performer in the short term?
In the short term?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Now, what do you consider short term?
Short term, let's say to the end of the year.
Okay, XRP or XLM, best performer for the short term, which one? Looks like XLM.
That's my call. That's my call. All right. Okay. So what do you see for XLM for our upcoming week?
Oh,
So currently
okay.
we are at 0.277, slightly over a quarter.
Okay. Is this going to go up or down? Hold on. Is this going up or down, up or down, up or down? What are you doing? It says it's going to end up on the downside.
Well,
Why is that? That makes no sense. Okay, let me ask again. XLM, where are you going to end up with? High or low? Are you going higher or lower? It still says down.
give me an idea. I already have something on screen here you can't see. I already have an idea of zone where I expect this to go.
Okay, where are you expecting?
Probably in the neighborhood of around, well, short term for the week, I would say probably easily 0.26, 0.265.
Okay.
Not a huge drop, but a drop nonetheless. A little bit of a pullback to the bottom part of my red box here that everybody can see on screen.
Interesting. Why is it pulling back?
The why is always the greater question. I'm a chart guy. I just look at the movement. I don't I joke.
Oh.
I could chart a chocolate bag of donuts as long as I can, as long as I can have a history on it. It doesn't matter. My system has a tendency to be accurate regardless of the facts. But I see it coming to probably about 265, 0.265, 269, right in that range. And then maybe possibly up, but we're bouncing off a half channel, so we could get down to about 265, as I see it.
Interesting.
Now,
Okay.
to kind of speculate, if XLM and XRP are running neck and neck, that's not indicating to me that there's a separation. However, I would like to point out to people that are not as ardent followers of this as I am. There was a point in time where XLM was selling for more than XRP. It was a rare case in history, but it has happened. It has always long been 50 cents to the dollar. Then it was 33 cents to the dollar. Then the spread changes and washes and wanes back and forth. So the fact that XLM would pull back when XRP is going up doesn't necessarily shock me the way it probably would have a year ago. So we have seen separations in different directions. Sometimes they move together, and sometimes they don't. So just give me your clean opinion on this. What you think is going to happen
Over what period of time?
over the week?
I saw it going down.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to give you a number, but
Yeah.
I'll look. So it's at 27. Okay, 27, 26. It's a lot of movement. 25. Could go down as far as 25. 25, between 25 and 26.
Okay. Well, there is a baseline support there. I just made a line there just before you gave me that call. I could see it wicking that low and returning back up into our red zone, so it's not improbable that can happen. Very probable, in fact. So, all right, well, we'll revisit that and see how we did on that one next week. Okay, so what we got next on? Oh, next one. I put this one on here just for folks that know that I love to kind of just trash talk this, just for fun. It's just for sport. It's not a bad coin. Digibyte.
Okay, Digibyte.
A lot of followers of Digibyte. You know, it's just the coin that loves to break everybody's heart because it just has so much. It has so much promise, but it's just not doing it.
Okay. All right, let's see. So over the next week, what will the price be? Is it going to go
So I got
up?
0.044. I'm sorry, I didn't give you a price point. So currently price is 0.044.
Thank you. 044. And let's see if over the next week it's going to go up or down. Says down. More broken hearts. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so 04 moving. 03. It's going to be 03 and change.
Well, Veronica, let me tell you what. I'm looking at a call that I did 2 weeks ago, 0.032.
Oh,
So there you go, folks. You know, it's going to be interesting to see if you and I need to find a new line of work, or don't give up your day job. All right, so this is my day job. So anyway, we'll go ahead and take a look at that one, and that one's right on par with what I'm thinking. So Theta is another one. If you're a Digibyte follower, you're probably a Theta Byte fan, or you're probably a Theta fan as well. So Theta. Current price on this is Theta's just been not really getting with it lately. You know, there's been some pretty hellacious drops for this thing when people thought it was going to go up. I predicted a pretty monstrous drop for this thing to happen, and it's panning out here. But I don't think we're done. I showed a skip zone, which we've hit 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times, but I think it's going to go a little bit lower. But currently we're right at $5, right at $5. So. What say you here? Where are we at for the week?
all right. Let's see. Is it going to go up or down? Theta, up or down? It says up. Okay. So is it going to go as high as... Probably shouldn't do that. $5.05. 10 cents. Moving. $5.15. 520. Looks 525. 523. 525. 525-ish.
Okay, 525.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got it at 525, and if we are to go up according to technical analysis, I can see it as high as $5.40. I don't put a lot of faith in that, but we do have something, and you're not familiar with my technical analysis, but we do have something called an opening move and a closing move. And basically, an opening move, to explain to people that have never seen me work before, computers have somewhat of an OCD. Anytime it does something, it has to undo something. So if you get an opening move, sooner or later, you're going to get a move up or a move down that matches it. That's where we come up with the term an opening move and a closing move. So basically what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at an opening move and a closing move, either up or down, which would be this velocity, this distance right here, can be replicated, start and finish. So I would put it at this dual AI line, probably about $5.41. That one would be a little bit of out of the blue for me. I still pretty pessimistic about it. The TA would indicate that the technical analysis would indicate that it would be going up that high. I don't personally think I would be a buyer on that. I'm still waiting for lower. You know, if we're going to go lower, my belief is if this same velocity here would take us the opposite direction and drop us right down, probably in the neighborhood of about $4.30. So let's see what happens with that one. So anything can and will happen with Digibyte. All right. So. I'm sorry, with Theta. Dent is one that I have to get on my other charts. Dent is one that's it's kind of a newer coin for us at FibiCharts, and it's a unique one because I've done insanely well with it, and I'm kind of a fan. I'm a new user to it, and I like it. So what do you think on that one here? Let me give you. So let me get a current price on this, so that the prices I gave you are about a week old, that are a couple days old. Hang on just a second.
Sure.
I got so many different. There we go. So Dent is currently at 0.004378. So just take it out about 0.0043. We'll just call it that.
Okay. So we're saying, is it going up or down over the next week? Up or down? Whoa. That was weird.
Weird good or weird bad?
I don't know. It was like null and void, and I'm like, okay. I was
Uh-oh.
asking up or
Sell.
down.
Sell, guys. Sell. You heard it here first. Sell.
Okay, up or down? Which way are we going? Down or up? Okay, now it's saying up. All right, thank you.
All right.
Good Lord. So 004, 5, 5, 1. Oh, it's swinging back. So 5.
Remember this
getting
runs
some
in micro fractions, so you know those numbers can be very, very.
Yeah.
You know, when you get into percentage points.
It doesn't look like it's going to make it to 5. It keeps rolling back.
Okay. Well, again, as you're doing this, I'm kind of front running your idea here. So I show a spot at which we could probably stall out. We are currently on an uptrend, crossing a half channel, and we very well could kind of lick this at about 0.004761, which is not beyond the realm. All our indicators are turning bullish right now, and that's possible. Let's take this one a little bit further. What do you see for this for the end of the year?
Well, let's see. 004. Okay, I was doing some dowsing on the side with that one, and I got up to like 00469 or something like that.
00469. By the end of the year?
No. That's just for this week. I was just doing my numbers while you were doing your numbers.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the end of this year, is it going to go up or down? Going up. First question, are we going to lose any zeros? It looks like we're going to lose a 0.
Oh, baby. All right.
Okay, so we're going to lose 1 0. What about the other 0 I'm pointing to it? Are we going to lose this other 0 yet? It says no. No. Okay, so for this, not the first 0, this one, how high is that going to go? Let's go 1, moving, but not all the way. 2, okay, it's freaking out at 2, so go back to 1, let's see. 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6, almost there, 1 7. Stopping at 1 7.
0.017 is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Well, that's what it said.
Ooh. All right.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, no, I just, I'm trying not to fall out of my chair because that right there is a 285% return on your money from where we're at right now.
Oh, yay.
So, all right. And that's entirely possible, guys, because we do have resistance right there that is very, very close to an all-time high. Now, again, to be sure you guys understand this, I have been calling for this thing. I've been watching this thing a lot. You guys that are fans of the show know that I've been nailing this thing over and over and over and over again. I bought in here on the chart, and I called this thing just ping, ping, ping all the way up and all the way down. I told everybody that this thing is not going to go up. It's going to do what's called a J hook, and it's going to drop. There was the prediction. You can see exactly how it played out, and it went along. And I told you it was going to drop into this, and it dropped into the hole here. So I've been nailing this pretty darn accurately. Now, I told you that this is a telecom coin based in Africa. It's an Africa-based coin. I see nothing but good for this coin. This is a tremendous project, and it will do astronomically well. But I have been saying that this is just not it. So I made the call on all of this as being like the ultimate high back when, this is where I was introduced to it, and I basically sketched it. I said it will not go above this. Went to there, stuck, went down, followed every single call I've done so far, and I am expecting exactly what Veronica is saying, and more so. Can you give me, just for fun, do an all-time high for this? Can you?
All-time high?
Yeah. Now, just so you know, guys, I want to see how close she can get. If you guys are following me, have you? And Veronica's not versed in my channel. She hasn't subscribed to my channel. She's not a. We're just kind of in the early stages of getting to know each other here. And,
working in the blind.
Right. So she doesn't have the benefit of anything that I've told you guys within the unfairadvantage.chat. So let me know, what do you think the all-time high, crazy high for this thing is going to be?
All-time high. I see.
And we're talking a couple years, 3-4 years out, whatever.
Yeah. Let's set a time. Okay. I've told you about how I do my times. I do it with major events in my life.
All right, so let's put it out 5 years from now.
5 years. What's going on in 5 years?
Right.
Okay. Give me just a moment to set the scene. Okay. Let's see. Let's start with 1 cent. 2, 3, 4, 5, moving.
You're gonna want to go a lot higher than that. Just that's your one little tip.
Well, I'm counting, friend. You gotta give me a starting point, because I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3. All right, let me grab a different chart, and I'll cheat a little bit. So, in terms of cents, let me see where I should end up.
Okay. In 5 years.
5 years. Looking at my daughter's 20th birthday.
While you're doing that, I'll answer a question here. There's a person asking right now. It is an ERC20 coin, yes. You can buy Dent. I use simpleswap.io. That seems to be a pretty reputable company to use. So if you guys want to use simpleswap.io, you can do that. You can keep Dent in your Ledger Nano. Anywhere you can keep an ERC20 coin, you can store it. So
30, 40, 45. Okay, it's getting me up to 50 cents. That seems kind of high, doesn't it?
No, not at all.
Okay. It's getting me up to the number 50. I'm assuming that's 50 cents.
Okay, all right. I've got $11.
Okay.
I hope I'm right. I've got $11.
You're right too.
in 5 years, I've got $11, and the reason why is because I see this being something that is so absolutely necessary to third world countries. And the reason why I say that is because everybody does things on a pay-as-you-go basis. They do internet, they do electricity, they do just everything is just hand-to-mouth in third world countries. And Dent is basically set up the way that you just basically pay as you use kind of thing. And don't get impressed when you hear $11 because $11 won't buy you what it buys you today. However, $11 is what my AI system predicts as being quite possible using statistical analysis. So, all right, so let's get on to the next one here. So this is one that's really big this week. I've been all over this thing, and this is Populous. Populous is basically to kind of explain this to people that don't understand. It got kicked off of Binance, and I was telling everybody, let me pull up the chart here while we talk about this. So Populous, PPT is the ticker symbol on this. So currently, Veronica, so you know while I'm talking here, it's at 77 cents, 0.776 cents, 0.776. So what's up with this? So Populous is basically a coin that is, it's a factoring coin. So if you guys don't understand high finance or business finance, let's say you have a company that you rent out forklifts and you have a bunch of forklift rental contracts. And you have a problem where you need to have some money, and so you could sell those contracts for pennies on the dollar or for a discount. There's whole industries designed to do this, to buy receivables kind of thing. And this is going to be massive, especially all those boats that are parked off our shore right now are going to cause a hell of a lot of problems for people. It's going to need some cash flow. And they do that by coming to companies like Populous. And that's how they get the operational capital, borrowing against future income. And so there's no way this is going to be a loser. So when we've done some. Red Bear, who is one of our people at the unfairadvantage.chat, has done something you can find, a deep dive on Populous. You can find here in our YouTube channel. Sniff around in my channel here and see if you can find the information on Populous. But we talked about this and why this is an important coin going forward. The thing about this is when this got delisted off Binance, I said, good, because I'm going to buy more of it. I'm going to buy every damn bit if I can get my hands on, because this thing will not fail. And when the news started to hit, it went down and down and down, and I was not surprised to see that we got a boost, that we got this boost right here. It kept going down, and so I don't believe that this thing is going to go down and stay down. It's just not. It's too useful of a coin. This is basically FUD and scare tactics and whatever you want to call it, because excess profit breeds ruinous competition. It also brings out new players in the market. And so, having said that, this coin is too good that someone's not going to step into the void and fill it. If Binance doesn't want to play ball with this, somebody else will. So if you're buying this thing right now where everybody's hating on it, good, you're getting a bargain. So at 77 cents, it's a bargain. We'll see what happens. So what do you think on this one for this week? Do you think it's going to get worse? Do you think we're going to go lower?
Okay, let's take a look. Is it going to go up or down? Up or down? I'm seeing down for this week.
Right.
Let's see how it goes. It's 77 now. 76. Moved a lot. 75. It's freaking out at 75.
Really?
But
for the week.
For the week.
Okay.
So 75, 76.
Go a little bit further out. Do you see it still continuing to slide?
Let me see. You want to go to what? I need a timeline.
Generally, what I'm showing on screen can generally is a TA call that could play out anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks. Let's go to the blast off. Let's take it right up to the doorstep of the blast off, up to October 15th. Between now and October 15th, what do you see?
Okay. So from here to October 15th?
Yeah, what's the lowest you see it going to between now and October 15th?
The lowest, okay. 76, okay, 76, 75, 74, 73, 69, 68, 7, 66, 65, stopping at 65, the very lowest.
The very lowest, 6.5. All right.
Mm-hmm. I saw 6.3, but it stopped at 6.5.
I've got 6.1.
Okay.
So that puts us in our yellow zone, guys. That's pretty much a no-brainer as far as I see it. I definitely see that we are on a downward slide. Now, again, give me that price that you said. I want to zone in on something, see how right you actually are. Give me your price was again one more time. 6.3.
Yeah, I saw 6.3.
Yeah.
I dowsed 6.5.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If we're looking at 6.3, there is some very serious support and resistance at 6.3, and at 6.5, that's not at all impossible. So basically, right in that general area, that red line, guys, would be probably the floor. And actually, that'd be something I would be a buyer at on that one. I wouldn't screw around to try and buy this any cheaper than that. This thing has had an all-time high of $90. If you don't know what this coin is, I mean, the original explosion of people jumping in on this thing just catapulted this thing sky high. Now that was probably a freak accident or probably a freak occurrence, so don't expect 90 to come around. But I'm telling you that if you're buying it at 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, even anything sub 70 cents, you're getting a screaming deal. It's as I see this thing. Let's take it to the other end. What do you see this thing doing after October 15th? Let's say between October 15th and November 25th. What do you see a high?
Okay. Good heavens. You hear those cats yowling outside my house? Good Lord. Thought they were coming through the window.
I still got thunderstorms going on, so that's
okay. So you're looking for a high between October 15th, November 15th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's look for the high. Are we looking at something over $1, yes or no? Could go over $1. Okay. Couldn't go over $2. Smaller, yes, but still there. Okay. $3. Not quite 3. So 3, 290, 280, 270, 260, 50, between 250 and 260.
Okay, between 250 and 260. Let's see what we get. Well, let me see. So between 250 and 260. So let's go back and use some real numbers here. So between 250 and 260 puts us at around about a ceiling right at 260. So between 250 and 260 puts us right in a window of very, very probable possibility on a boost up before hitting resistance and possibly stalling before going higher. So this is just to get everybody kind of excited about the possibility. If we bought in at 62 cents and we waited that out, that, folks, is 320% return on your money. That's over 320% return on your money. And I would expect that to happen. That's a very, very strong possibility. Very, very strong possibility. Of all the coins that could possibly do a 300% return in the next 30, 45 days, I would definitely be in on this call for sure. So, all right, so we'll leave that one go, and we will join. So we got a few to work through here. I won't take up all night. So XYO, that's one that's kind of come onto my radar recently. Been talking about that a lot. It's just kind of you were mentioning that you've been hearing an awful lot, and it's kind of been coming into your readings an awful lot too.
Yeah, that was the one, and I think I told you this last week, that I woke up on Wednesday morning last week, or was it Thursday morning, one of those, and I got out of bed and I opened my eyes, and floating in front of me were golden letters that said XYO. And I thought, I don't know what that means. Is that a genetic disorder? Is that somebody's going to ask me what the sex of their baby is and something's wrong with the baby? What's going to happen with this? And then come to find out, on that Thursday, you had mentioned XYO as a cryptocurrency, and I was like, oh, aha! Mm-hmm. So it wasn't doing anything except floating in front of me in golden, beautiful letters. I thought, well, that can't be a bad sign. So,
not at all. Not at all. We'll take it. All right. So what do you see in the short term?
Short term.
In the short term.
Let's see. Can you give me a current price on it?
Current price is 0.027.
0.027. Okay. So as far as we're looking for this week, right? Is it going to go
just
up
this
or
week?
down?
Yeah. I would expect not to front load you here, but I'm expecting the market in general to kind of follow in the short term of a week to kind of follow the general trend of everything. But there's going to be breakouts like XRP. You're talking XRP might possibly go up, but XLM might go down. Let's see what you can say on XYO for the week.
Looks like 34. It's real comfortable at 34. Maybe a smidgen higher.
At 0.34?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if I can find some basis of real world technical analysis.
And I'm just going to take a quick look and see when it's going to hit $1. Let me see if I can find that. Okay.
And to go from 2 cents to $1 would be life-changing for many of our listeners. That would be fantastic. I do really expect you guys who don't understand what XYO is. I see, again, much like Dent. This is going to definitely when people wake up, or when the proper people wake up and realize how useful this is. It's kind of like VeChain. It's in the same family of use case. When people realize what this is and how good it can actually perform, how many questions it can answer. This thing's got nothing but good in front of it. So $1 is not inconceivable.
Yeah. So going back, just to make sure I didn't misspeak, when I was talking about 34, I'm talking about from where it is right now, 27, 28, 29 to 34, not 34 cents or $34.
You're talking about 0.034.
Correct. It's still in the same ballpark. Now for this thing, I'm trying to find out when it's going to get to even $1 or a quarter. Let's see. Let's walk it forward. End of the alt season this year, whenever that happens to be. Let's see. 4, 5, and I'm talking 0.04. Okay, makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3, 4, 5. Are we going to lose that 0? Let's just ask that. Are we going to lose the 0 during the alt season? Yes, we are. The 0 is going to go. All right, fair enough. So would that be 10 cents? Yeah. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 18, 19.
18 to 19 cents.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give you guys you're going off my charts, Veronica. I gotta squish my charts down so much I can't even find where oh my lord. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, you said 18, 19 cents?
Mm-hmm. Because it looks like we're gonna lose the 0.
Okay, so 0.18. All right, guys. Everybody put your seatbelt on. So 18-cent coin from where we currently are right now is 575% return.
Okay.
I do believe that to be probable for many coins in alt season. Anywhere from 5 to 8x is not going to shock me at all. So this is well within the wheelhouse of what's going to happen. So 18 cents puts you, so basically 500 to 600% return on your money on XYO on a very darn solid coin, if I do say so. So there you go. Now this, by the way, so you guys who may not know what's going on with this is a coin you can buy on Coinbase, and I always like to tell that because sometimes you guys hear about these weird coins, and these coins are just, you watch them blow up, and you're like, I don't know where to find them. They're hard to find. XYO is not one of these. You can just go to Coinbase and buy it. You Americans, you North Americans and stuff. Something like a persistence token, not as easy to get. So I always like to kind of highlight these ones that will be good performers that are easy to find, because ultimately it's all about getting them. I mean, it's all well and good to wish you could have got it, but if you can't get it, it's all for naught. So XYO can be had on Coinbase. Super, super easy. So, all right. So next one on that one is XDC. XDC is, again, it's another one of those X coins. So if you guys want to go back and watch my discussion with Zero Point Energy, was one of our talks we had on the crypto chat this week. We talked in depth about this coin. A darn good project. This thing's just been getting the hell beat out of it. It's just been going down and down and down and down. Had a good week, went up a little bit, but she's starting to fade back down. And I've been this is an opening and closing move that I talked about just to kind of show. But I've been predicting, basically I said we're going to get a drop, and we always stall at the half, and this is exactly where we're at right now. So XDC sits at 0.1225 right now. This is XDC.
Okey-doke. And we want to know where it's going to go over the next week. So I want to know,
are we going to go lower this week? Just this week. We'll talk this week and then, all season, whatever. But how are we going to do this week? Have we hit the bottom on this yet, or are we going to go lower?
Okay, that's 2 questions.
Oh,
Gotta
sorry,
ask them at a time. So what question do you want to ask?
Are we, tell me what you see. Are we going to go lower from where we are right now?
Okay, I'm getting a yes.
Okay.
Yep. So 0.122. So 122, 120, 119, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, Looks like 113.
113. 113. All right. Well, yet again, she's done it, folks. So this is right at support and resistance. This is historical support. If we're using classical technical analysis, we should fall to the bottom of this. And this is right within the realm of my call here to the AI line. So what she's saying is we're going to be falling right into a box, right in that general area where I'm already expecting this to go. So basically our technical analysis would highlight that line right there, you take that and you drop it there, boom, you got it right on the call she just gave. There it is. So we're looking at 0.113. I expect it. That one looks good to me. All right, cool. Next week's going to be fun. All right, VeChain. We talked about VeChain in relationship to XYO. VeChain is one that it's a high flyer, but just hasn't been on its game lately. It's kind of blasted off and changed direction a little bit. Surprisingly, it's kind of bucked the trend a little bit. I expected it to go down. We don't always hit these things all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that right now. So we're in basically what's called a W formation, and we're just, for whatever reason, this to me strikes me as let me ask you kind of an off question. Do you believe that there's a lot of powers that be right now that are bearing down on this thing to make it move as it's moving?
Let's see. Oh, that's not a pretty image. Okay, so I see this guy sitting on a toilet.
Okay.
I don't even want to translate that.
Let's just hope that's not reflective of my investment accounts or anything like that. But
No, that's the question you asked me is to see the powers that be. I see a guy in a business suit dropping trowel and sitting on a toilet. So I don't know if he is the crapper or if he's just ready to flush it or what the deal is.
All right. Okay, so currently we're on an uptrend, so I don't even know where to go with that. You kind of, again, you've kind of thrown me off my game here. So let me rephrase that question as I'm asking this here. What do you see for the week? Okay, so now it's making a little more sense to me here as I'm reframing my indicators here. What do you see for the week? I have a pretty good idea what's about to happen. We're getting kind of a bit of a false pump right now. I believe is a very computer oriented pump going on. The reason I was asking you that question is this seems to be they've got the bots turned on and it's really manipulating this thing hard right now. It's just a straight line up to the AI line here. They're going to let go of this thing. So what I want to know is when they let go of this, what's going to happen to it this week?
Okay. So, still can't get that image of the toilet out of my head.
Me neither.
That's horrible. Okay. So we're 084. So 8483. Are we getting in the 70s? We are getting in the 70s. Are we getting in the 6s?
You're talking 0.07, 0.06,
yes.
Right?
Okay. Yes. So sorry, I kind of skipped that part just to get to the point of what I'm doing.
Right. So
84, we're going to go down to 74, 64, too far, 74, 72, 71, 7, 69. Looks like it's kicking back at 69.
It's 0.69, just a hair under.
069.
All right, so, okay. So let me show you guys who are new to my channel what I just did here. Again, I've referenced an opening and a closing move. This thing that I'm highlighting here, I'm moving, is our term for this is velocity. Velocity can be, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? We know that with statistical odds, this is a 100% certainty. This is how they fake us out. So when you pick this up off a TA, this move here is what we refer to as an opening move. You have to have this closing move, this match move, this book end somewhere, either in an upward or a downward move. If I plug this into our grid, which we call the unfair advantage grid, this is our automated intelligence lines with, I won't get into it right now, but this TA here can be plugged in right there, and it drops it right to our line that's made by ISIS, one of our bots, and that puts it. What was your call again?
0.069. Little wobbly with the 9, but with the 6 is solid.
Okay, so my AI line puts it at 0.07. So you're darn close. Now, I'm not saying a wick couldn't drop it, because usually what we'll see is we'll see things like this, for example, where we'll get a call and it'll wick just a little bit below. So, not saying it's not improbable. So you're definitely within shooting range. So, just to kind of put a finer point on this, guys, that's a drop of 21%. Very doable by crypto standards. Very doable by bad day at the market standards. So VeChain could be taking a tumble hard here. So you guys that are waiting to grab VeChain, I'm telling you what, an 07 cent VeChain is a fabulous buy. It's not a bad buy at the price it's at right now, anything under 10 cents. But if you can get it at 7 cents, all the better. I will tell you, let's play a little fun game. So look out in VeChain's history. Look out about look out about 5 years. What do you see VeChain being? I predict some pretty outrageous stuff, but what do you see VeChain doing?
5 years fast forward?
5 years fast forward.
Okay, give me a moment.
So currently we're just a hair under 10 cents, but what do you see in 5 years?
Just a moment. Let me find my timeline. Okay. It's going to go up. Is it going to be more than $1, yes or no? It says yes. Is it going to be more than $2? Yes. Is it going to be more than $3? Well, it says yes, but it's kind of like, pushing it. Is it going to be more than $4? No. Okay, so starting at 3.
Okay.
3, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 172, 73, 372.
372. All right. There you go, guys. Okay. All right. Well, I've got and I don't have an awful lot of data on this. So our system, the way our system works is we use an AI system called Anubis, which what we do with this is we basically gather all the data and we pick up the highs and the lows and we calculate statistical probabilities. So I'm looking at a window to the low end of $7 5 years out. Now that your accuracy is probably a hell of a lot better than mine is, because I have the more data I get, the more it revises. But in no way, shape, or form do I see this hanging out around about 10 cents. VeChain is going to be tremendously good. What year do you see the real? Well, obviously we're all going to do. What do you see after? How do I want to rephrase that question? What do you see it doing by November 15th?
This year?
Yeah.
I don't know why my mind jumped ahead like 9 years. Let me come back. Hold on. Good Lord. That was a jump. I'm sorry. What was the date again?
What do you see it doing by November 15th of this year? So basically the theory or the idea of the reason I'm asking that question is I want to see, okay, so we're post blast off, so what's the question specifically would be, what is the high point you see between now and November 15th?
Okay,
so
the high
we're asking
there.
the question correctly. What do you see the high point between now and November 15th?
All right, let's see. I'm going to start high. $2? No. $2? No. Okay. $1. Could go as high as $1. So it said that's a possibility. Let's look. So we're going to work our way up. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, it's moving. 45, 50, 55. Weird, still moving. 60. It's freaking out at 90. no more than 80 to 85 during the high of the alt season.
Okay, being by November, so are we talking about the alt season, which is indefinable at this point in time, or are we talking basically over the next 30?
Okay, so let me use your date of November 15th.
Okay. So what? Okay. So again, so I want to write this down. So what did you say it was? 95 cents?
Yikes. I think I said 85. You know, I forget this as soon as it's done, I'm done. Okay, so for November 15th, let me plant myself there on the calendar. Okay, going up or down? It's going up. 10 cents, 15, 20, 25, 30, moving 35, 40, said nope, back to 35, 36, 37, 38. We'll stop at 37, 38, right around there.
37 to 38 cents?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're looking at 1, 2, 3. So you're looking at about roughly 400%. I'm doing some fuzzy math here, guys, so apologize. You're looking at basically about 400% return, give or take, if I'm picking that up right. Yeah, it's about roughly about 400% return in the next 30-ish days. Well, by November 15th. Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it seemed very happy in the 30s, but it was twitchy in the 30s, like it was moving around a lot.
All right. So when we ever have the undefinable alt season, we're looking at easy 10x overall from here where we're at. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to move through these because just kind of a little spoiler here going forward, or a little kind of heads up. She wanted to talk a little bit about, we had one of our viewers from last week sent Veronica a question. She wants to address that. Christopher, what was the name?
Christopher, I believe, was Philadelphia.
Okay, so we're gonna address your thing here live on air. So hang tight for that. And we had another one too. I had one myself from one of my moderators had a question. I wanted to have you weigh in on that. So let's buzz through this really quickly and get on to that, and we'll wrap up for the night. Okay, so let's see where we left off. So we were talking V-chain. So let's kind of let's not do the full 20 here because I don't want to keep you on the hook. I know you got a life to live. How are we doing on Shiba for this week? Up, down?
Okay, let's just real quick. Shiba, what are you doing this week? Up or down? Looks like it's going to go up a little bit.
Okay.
Not much. They're going to hit 8? No. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 5.
Yeah, that would be about right. That would be about right. That puts you right in that general area. So it's basically retest and high. So yeah, okay. That would be completely. We've got what's called a rounded bottom happening right now. Possibly a cup and handle. Go out a little further. How do you see this doing? Well, you see it doing by November. Let's just keep using November 15th. How do you see it by November 15th? How do you see it doing? Now again, price on this is crazy amount of zeros. It's 5 zeros. 72.
Right.
0.000072.
Looks like the alt season is going to drag it upward a little bit. Are we going to lose any zeros? No. By November 15th, it says no. Interesting, though. Am I going to lose a zero?
We came darn close there not that long ago. We got it 0.000911, but we didn't quite get past.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to hold like real close, like 99999. And then shortly after that, it's going to start to move.
So say that again.
It looks like it just wants to hold kind of steady there, and then it's going to start to move.
All right. Well, from where we're at now to that point, you're looking at roughly about a 36% return, 36.75% return. Not bad. Definitely wouldn't want to be selling at that point. Just look at it and enjoy the fact you're in the money, but I wouldn't be unloading at that point because there's a lot more to go. All right. Doge. Doge has just been a sleeper lately. It's really just yesterday's news. Not a lot of interest in this lately. It's been on a kind of a downward slide. just hitting the marks all the way down, just kind of skipping like a rock across the water, and eventually, so it's at 20 cents right now, and it's definitely on a hard downward trend. But as I see it right now, not doing anything that impresses me too much. But we're sitting at 20 cents.
Is it going to go up or down this week? Looks like it wants to tick up just a little bit. Nothing major. Let's see. 19, 20, 21, 18, 23. Looks like it wants to tick up to 23 again.
Yeah. All right.
But
well,
it's just like it's kind of shoot up.
That would be in complete confluence with recent resistances, so it's entirely possible. We've got an opening move that would close up that direction, so it's extremely possible. That move there, guys, if you're watching it and you want to play that, you're looking at about 11% move. Nothing really to get excited about. Most of you guys that know that when I'm tracking these things, I don't usually do anything that doesn't make me 15% or better. So not a move I would really throw down hard on. But if you're getting bored and just want to trade something, 20 cent Doge is not a bad investment. I see Doge going to over $1, well over $1. You're just going to have to wait for it. So if you buy at 20 and it doesn't quite win the race for you, you may have to hang on to it. But I wouldn't dump it thinking it's going lower and staying, because I don't think it's going to do that. So if you can pick up a quick 11% gain, then do it. But if you get in on it and it goes south, just hang on to it. It's a reasonably safe buy. All right. Matic. Matic is one that I think is going to do really well going forward in the future. It's on a downtrend, sliding down, starting to level off and get a little bit of an upturn right now. But again, the whole market is in kind of a downward slide, and it's showing a little breath of life, but not much. So we're at $1.13 right now on Matic.
Okay, so
for the week, do you see anything good?
Matic, is it going up or down? Looks like it wants to slide down some more. Okay. Let's see. $7, 6, 5, 4. $4, $3, $2. Nope, not $1.02. No more than $1.03. Shouldn't be. But it does want to slide down a little bit.
All right, you nailed it. So past resistance is right at exactly $1.03. So it would make all the sense in the world where it might go down there. Now, from that, let's go ahead and go forward a little bit more. What do you see? Let's use our time between now and November 15th. What do you see for it between those times?
Okay, is it going to go up? It is. Looking for November 15th. My finger on the calendar. Okay. $8, 9, 10, $50. Ooh, maybe too fast. Okay. 10, $20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60. Nope. No more than $1.55, it looks like. It started getting funky around $1.60, twisting.
All right. Yeah, there it is again, guys. So you're saying about $1.60?
Mm-hmm.
That's where your resistance starts, right there. So it starts literally right at $1.62. That gives you from current to that call, and this is between, we're talking to November 15th. That gives you 42, 43. We'll just give it 44% return between over the next. What is that? How many days is that? That's roughly 45 days. All right. So very doable. That one long term is going to do exceptionally well. All right. Couple more I want to hit here. I want to do through the whole list because we want to address those guys there. So one that's not being talked about as much as it probably should is Polkadot. Polkadot is it's a very solid, very good project. Let me see if I can find it on my list here. Hang on just a second. Where the heck is Polkadot?
Now let's do one or two more. I'm running out of steam, friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of
falling
want to go
apart.
through this kind of quick here. So there we go. There's polka dot. All right. So let's do polka dot. All right. So polka dot's at $28.75.
Okay, polka dot. $28.75. All right. Let's find out this week. Is it going to go up or down? It says up. Okay. 28.75. 29. 30, 31, it's a little far, a little fast, 31. Oh, it's hitting 31, 31, 25, nope, 31, 30, 75, 31.
Okay. So we've got a little bit of support and resistance right at that. Well, actually, as I look at that and scale out here, so you guys that are familiar viewers, you know what a dual AI line is. That sits at right at 31. So what is your call on 31 exactly, or 31 and some change?
I'm getting it. It gets a little funky after 31, so 31 is solid.
Okay. So we have a dual AI line at 31 and some change here at 0.315. So that the dual AI lines are pretty solid. So we'll see how that one pans out. So that's for the week, correct? Okay. All right. So let's get off of crypto here. So that's pretty much where we're going to leave it with that. We'll follow up and see what we did on this. So Christopher, tell us about Christopher.
Okay. So one of your members sent me an email. Very nice of him. And he was asking me about a couple of dreams that he had. One was him looking at a white house, white picket fence, white mailbox, and black lettering that equaled out to his birthday. So obviously this house is about him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you talk about houses and dreams, dreams are very symbolic. So if you see someone in a dream handing you a bottle of ketchup, that means you're going to catch up to them.
Mm-hmm.
See how it works?
Right.
It's kind of punny. So I see a white picket fence. Everything is neat, orderly. There's no problems here. It obviously belongs to him. A white picket fence indicates good boundaries. So I don't know what kind of person this is, but either you're someone who has good boundaries, or you need to set up some good boundaries and make sure that people don't walk all over you, take advantage of you, and that you don't interfere in other people's business. So you stay within your fence, other people stay within their fence line, and you don't get run over by others, and you don't do that to other people. So there's a lot of balance right there. The house was white, which means it was clean, it was bright. It doesn't necessarily mean it was new, but it didn't have any deficiencies. So your house is your life, and it also represents in many ways your body. So looking at him from a health standpoint, I would be pretty confident that he looks good inside and out,
Mm-hmm.
and that he is healthy, and that his mind and his body and everything is balanced out and somewhat clean. The white mailbox is how he receives information from the outside world, and it looks like it's also clean. Everything about that picture is very ideal. So that's what we're all striving for and kind of trying to move toward. And it looks like that was right in front of him, and it's very achievable for him. So that's good. And he said he was very, very happy, that it felt very ideal.
Okay.
So I thought that was nice. The other part that he had was he was on a boat. And of course, being in a boat is it's moving from one place to another, but you're on top of water, and water is the psychic field. It's the emotional field. So it has a lot of depth to it. If you're in the water and you're going down and you're going into the deeper layers and recesses of the mind and the consciousness. So he's floating on top of the water. He's very safe. He's in a boat, and he's being pulled into a triangle. Triangles are a dimensional shift. They're moving into a different area, a different place in time and space. They're also a symbol of protection. So all the time when I'm in meditation, I picture myself in a white pyramid of light, a four-pointed pyramid like a triangle, like the Pyramid of Giza.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the best forms of protection you can use for yourself. So his boat is being pulled over a bridge, which is another connector between two dimensions, and into a protective space, which is also another dimension. So it looks like he's really traveling and doing a lot of soul traveling in his dreams. So for him, I think it would be really, really good. And it's good for everyone, really, to keep a notebook, a journal of your dreams. First thing in the morning, you write down your dreams. You put the date. If you didn't dream anything, I had a great night rest. I dreamed of a cat sitting on a porch. It was a brown cat. Write it down and move on. But just start keeping your dreams. And what happens is things are going to start revealing themselves to you because you are paying attention. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to start seeing things like a little bit of future prophecy, a little unraveling of a problem that you're having, a difficulty that's coming to you, and they'll be very, very specific, and you'll learn how to read those, and you can really take advantage of those, that unconscious part of your mind, and bring it forward into the physical world.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of good stuff there.
No, I was going to say, that's getting your money's worth, isn't it? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I got a moderator that's been with us, one of our most beloved moderators. I'm going to kind of throw this in because we just had a conversation just before I talked to you today, and he was telling me, so I'll kind of set the stage for everybody to understand what's going on. So this gentleman works tirelessly, and he also contributes to our board at the unfairadvantage.chat, and got a lot going on in his life. So stress is like at an 11 constantly for him, and he's suffered some problems where he's now looking for alternative treatment, and he's been hanging out in a float tank. And so it kind of caught me off guard when he said he was wanting to do this. He goes, I was just laying there in the float tank and nothing better to do. He goes, I just thought I'd try to astral project, which kind of catches me off guard because he's not the type of person you would expect to say something like that. However, he's tried that. He said he's had an experience where basically what happens is he's floating there, and he's been mulling over the idea of what's going to happen when crypto hits, and where is he going to find himself? He wants to get an RV, load the family in, and just basically go mobile for about a year or so. And he's mulling over the idea, where's the best place to be? Where's the best place to be? And so he was telling me in conversation slightly before Veronica called me for a broadcast tonight. And he said it was somewhere, I believe he said Wyoming, Montana. It's not important to the story. But he was saying somewhere up there in the wild woolly territory. And said he basically bilocated. He saw the entire thing. So that's pretty impressive. And he said, but here's the thing. And he says, you have any idea what this means? And this is why I'm bringing it to Veronica on the live cast here. He said basically he was there, and then all of a sudden it's just like, he just had a knock in the head, just like a shock in the head. It went down his right leg, and then all of a sudden, he's just out of it. And he said he's had this happen before, and it went down his left leg. So I said, Veronica, what do you think that's all about?
Yeah, so he actually is managing to expand himself and get out of his body. The problem is that he didn't really do any preparation for it. So usually when you do that, you do it in steps. Otherwise, on the physical body, basically he's getting a snap back. So his body is not, what was the word I used before?
Conditioned would be basically the best way to put it.
Yeah, his body
he's not prepared.
Right, he's not prepared. He's not conditioned. His body is not in clean and correct order to be doing that kind of movement. You have to think of it in terms of like a rubber band stretching, and if the rubber band is cold, it's going to break. So you want the right temperature. If it's too hot, it's just going to turn into a pile of goo in your hands and melt. So the body has to be in the right condition. So usually when people do that, they bring the body up slowly. They raise the kundalini slowly. They do yoga, stretching, fasting. They change their diet. They do meditations to build themselves up to that level, so that basically they don't hurt themselves.
Okay.
And he kind of injured himself a little bit there. So what happened was he expanded really fast. He looked around, but his body was not in the correct condition to do that. So it kind of snapped him back into it really hard, and it was a little uncomfortable. I've had that before too, where I eat too much meat. And then all of a sudden my solar plexus is cramping and hurting and feeling like it's being popped open instead of it being nice and subtle and gentle when I do my readings. So I'm like, oh, gotta work on the diet there, Veronica. You're getting a little out of hand. Milkshakes and French fries aren't going to work. You're looking for the higher your frequency, the easier it is on your body.
Oh, but those French fries are so good.
They were delicious. So you want to make sure your body is in the right kind of shape. It's like trying to run a marathon, and you just sat on the couch and watched all the marathons, and now you're like, hey, I'm going to go do one of those tomorrow. It's not going to go so well for you.
So what you're saying is he got a metaphysical cramp is what he got.
He did. He got a Charlie horse.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Thank you so much for your time, Veronica. So this has been Woo Woo Chat on Thursday. Join us again on next Thursday. We're going to dig through this and see if we know what the hell we're talking about here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to call it a night here. Thank you very much for your time. As always, Doll, love to have you with us. We look forward to having you again next Thursday. My name is Red Baron, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. And again, if you'd like to join us, please like and subscribe. We do all kinds of stuff other than just woo-woo stuff. We'll get back to the crypto stuff here very, very quickly. And of course, obviously, we'd love to have you join us at theunfairadvantage.chat. And if you'd like to subscribe to the charts that you're seeing me use here during the live stream, featuring AI and featuring my predictions and the stuff that I do over at theunfairadvantage.chat, you can do that by going to fibbycharts.com, go to subscribe right here, pick yourself out a package. We'd love to have you join what it is we're doing. So until next time, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.